Today I am doing a video on how I got my dream internship. So if you're new here, I do an economics degree at the University of Bath, and most people at Bath Uni do a placement year, which means you go and work for a year to get experience between your second and fourth year. This is actually one of the main reasons I picked Bath Uni, because I thought it was amazing that they push the internships and they offer it on a lot of courses. However, I quickly came to realise that I don't actually want to do an economics-based career, or at least not primarily. I do love studying it, but I don't think the careers associated with economics would be fulfilling for me. And that's not to say that like all economics people go into the same thing, but yeah, I just wasn't really interested in that, and it really put me off doing a placement year. However, I spoke to my personal tutor and they said that I could do anything I want on my placement year, and they were like, it doesn't have to be related to econ because it's just about you getting experience and finding out what you want to do with your life. And I was like, wow. So as you can probably tell from the fact that I have a YouTube channel, I love things to do with digital marketing and content creation, and I thought it'd be really interesting to explore like the professional side of it, because obviously this is quite like casual. I get to decide whatever I want to do on my channel, and I just thought it'd be really interesting to look at the more like e-commerce businesses, basically how they use digital marketing, and like it would be like more of a challenge for me doing all that for someone else rather than just for fun for myself. So I'm doing a 1-year internship in digital marketing and content creation. That is the role title, and it is at a skincare company called Wild Mint. So I just like put a couple products to the side so I can like show you like what the actual business is. So this is just like one of their little skincare bags, and yeah, they do loads of, this is not like me promoting it by the way, I'm just like saying the company that I work for, but yeah, they do loads of like skincare products. I have like over 10 of these, but like all different ones, but I just thought I'd show a couple for now. This is like a cleanser and a moisturizer, and it's all like natural vegan skincare. This is a face mask. Basically it's just right up my street because it is a sustainable business. It is all vegan and cruelty free, and it's all like natural skincare, superfood ingredients, things like that. The role is remote, so I just work from home, but I'm actually going to be moving to London in September, which is so exciting. And the reason I am moving to London is because first of all, I have quite a few friends doing placement in London, and also I just thought it was a great opportunity to move to London since I'm like working from home for a year. But also the people that run Wild Mint actually live in Portugal, but their family is in London, so like whenever they fly back they come to London, stay in London, and they were saying like we should meet up for work sessions and everything. I've actually already met them. They came to Bath to meet me on my first day. But yeah, I'll definitely meet them again loads of times over the next year. So it would be really cool if I'm like in London anyway, then I can easily meet up with them and do work sessions and like shoots for the products and everything. So yeah, I don't actually need to move there. It's just I thought it was the perfect opportunity, and I've always wanted to live in London for a bit. I've just finished filming a week in my life as a marketing intern, so make sure to subscribe if you haven't already to stay tuned for that video. It will be up in less than a week after this one. But just to give it a brief overview, I do things such as email campaigns to send out to customers, shooting videos, photos of the products, making videos for their website, for their social media, making Instagram posts, Instagram stories. And then also in the job description, which I haven't got round to doing much of this yet, but is about like growth strategy for the business. So I guess that's like coming into the more like business economic side. Not really economics to be honest, but yeah. So anyway, I will get into how I got my dream job, and there's a few parts to this because I'm going to be sharing practical advice, things to do with applications, and then I'm going to be saying a little bit about manifesting because I practice manifesting quite a lot in my life, and I genuinely think I manifested this job, and you'll see why when I get to that section. Anyway, so I found quite a few that like would interest me, but there was always like something wrong about it. For example, it just wasn't a good location. Basically, I only wanted London, like London or remote. The thing I want to note as well is like I truly believed that I could get the one of my dreams and like the one that was perfect for me. So when I say like, oh, for example, I didn't apply to this one because it wasn't perfect, that is because I knew that I could get something that was. So yeah, I don't know, I think that's different for everyone. Like some people don't really like that mindset, and that's completely fine. Like you could just apply to as many as you can, because it obviously you would have better chances. But for me personally, I had an idea of what I wanted in my head, and I didn't want to settle for less than that because I knew I was good enough to get the one I wanted, if you know what I mean. So yeah, the things I wasn't liking too much was the location of some of them. Some of them were unpaid, which I wasn't going to accept because there were so many that were paid, so why would I go for one that was unpaid? And also, like, I don't agree with unpaid internships at all, but that's a whole nother subject. I think as well, because I've got experience in it, I didn't want to accept unpaid, because it's not as if I'm coming in absolutely clueless expecting them to teach me everything. It's more like I've got something to bring, if you know what I mean. However, I did then come across one which I really liked, which was for Upcircle, which is another sustainable skincare brand, and this one was in Westminster, London. Wow. So I applied to the Upcircle one. It was actually a permanent role, it wasn't a one-year internship, so I just applied to the job anyway and put at the end about like that I was looking for a one-year internship, and I didn't get it because of that. They said that they really liked what I did, because for the application you had to send in like examples of your work, and so I went out and like bought the Upcircle products and like made kind of like an Instagram reel, and they said they really liked it but they couldn't do an internship. I'm happy that I applied to that because it kind of like gave me a bit of experience. I would say it's always worth trying. Like you never know, they might have turned around and said yes, like we'd love to have you just for a year or something. So don't shut down opportunities before you've even tried them, because if you are seeing like a really good job out there and it's like not perfect, you could apply anyway and then try and negotiate on something. So I was thinking how I loved the values of Upcircle and how like that was such a good one to find, in the sense that it was like a vegan sustainable company and like well paid and everything like that. So then I had the idea of just putting myself out there and making my own job description and emailing companies, my favourite brands, and being like, this is what I do, I would love to do this for your company, what do you think? So I essentially made my own applications for jobs that didn't exist. So how I got the Wildmint one, I was actually already in touch with Wildmint because they emailed me like Christmas time last year asking for me to do a video for their YouTube channel, and I did the video, they really liked the video. And then when I was looking for an internship, I emailed them back and said, this was like after the video was all done and everything, and I basically made my own application and said, I would love to do this for your company. So let me tell you what I put on the application. So I said, I'm looking for a one-year internship. I said my uni and my course and everything. And then I said my experience in digital marketing, my experience in content creation, social media. I basically told them what I have to offer and like what I could bring new to their brand. Then I said how I align with the brand so well, like vegan, sustainable, all that. And then it was good to mention like the fact that my degree and like the thing I was applying for were like different. So I just added in a little section saying how my economics degree could help. Then I included examples of my work. So I'd already made a video for them, so they kind of like had that to go off. But then I made a couple of Instagram reels to show them like what I could do and my ideas. And then I wrote out 2 ideas for Instagram posts. And then I probably wouldn't have said this looking back, but it's fine that I did. I said that I'm willing to work for fairly little money because I'm like doing an internship and I'm gonna learn so much from it and I love the brand. I think I put that in there just to like give them an incentive to hire me. You never know how much money a company has, like you could be getting more out of them than you think. That's just like my advice to anyone applying. But it's okay that I said that because I'm completely happy with what I'm getting paid and it's not below average for this type of work. And the last 2 things that I said was the fact that I have the equipment to do the job and that I'm really flexible. So I just thought they're good little things to put in there. So yeah, my main tips for applications would be to say why you want that job, why you want that company, and how your skills suit the job. And even if it's a skill that you don't think would be relevant to the job, like find a way to link it, and then you've got something extra in there. And I actually didn't hear from Wildmint for about 2 months after I sent this email, so I kind of thought like, oh, they're not interested. But I actually hadn't emailed anywhere else yet because I had a priority list going and they were at the top of the priority list. So I kind of wanted to hear back from them before I applied to another company, because if I'd applied to another one and I'd have got that and then Wildmint came back and said yes, then that would have been annoying, if you know what I mean. So even though they took ages to reply, I kind of waited on them. And it was actually on the day that I thought, oh, like they probably are not interested because they haven't replied in so long. So I ended up applying to another internship, which was like not exactly what I wanted, but I was excited about it and I applied anyway. And on that day I heard back from Wildmint saying basically like, yes, we would love to have you and like create a role for you. And it was actually the founder of the company that emailed saying like, yes, we'd love to have you, not the girl that I was originally in contact with. And they just said like they'd had like loads of switch around in the business and like so much going on, and that is why they took so long to reply. But worth the wait. I use manifesting in my life, so when I wanted something, for example an internship, I manifested it. So what I did is made a vision board to start off with my ideals for the placement year. So I will show you this vision board that I made months before I got this internship, even like before I applied or knew something about the company. So content creator, that's me, I'm a content creator. And then I put on there London 1 day per week, and what I meant by this is like working in London, like actually going to work. And it's interesting the way this has worked out, because I usually have 1 day or more, to be fair, but 1 day where I like sit down and like I literally just edit and do emails and stuff for the whole day, rather than actually needing to do my whole light setup, shooting. And I was also thinking that on like my editing days and on the days that I'm not shooting, I could like go into the centre of London, like go to a coffee shop or something and work, or even like near where I live. So it's kind of like getting out and like working for a day, not just staying at home. So the way that it's worked out, I probably will be going into London 1 day per week to work, because the other days I'll want to be at home to like have all of my setup for and like all of the products with me. I was thinking also sometimes I could maybe like find a cool shooting location in London, like a nature thing, and go there. So yeah, the way that that's worked out is so good, because basically what I meant by that is I didn't really want to be tied down going 5 days a week into the centre of London, because of the whole thing of like being nervous about travelling and then like the added expense and everything. And then I also put on that vegan and sustainable brand, which is exactly what I'm working for. I think I put the YouTube, meaning like I want to carry on my YouTube and kind of like have content for my YouTube. This is also why I'm so glad I got a remote one, because I wouldn't have felt comfortable sharing the company if it was like in real life every day, because then someone could obviously know where I'm gonna be every day, like the address, which is obviously really unsafe. So I'm so glad that like Wildmint don't actually have an office, like it's all remote working, and whenever we do meet up it will not be like a set location or something. So I'm completely safe to like say where I work, who I work for. I put a few photos of some Instagram feeds because I knew I wanted to shoot Instagram content, which I am. And it's interesting that I've got that photo of like, I mean maybe I'm delving deep here, but I don't care. Interesting that I've got the photo of the kind of like natural sunlight skincare shop, because I didn't actually know this before I worked for them, but like that is the exact aesthetic that they want to be going for, like the natural sunlight kind of like Pinterest style photos. And also they've said recently about doing like kind of more lifestyle shots, kind of like in that photo actually. This is actually going to be a really good inspiration shot for me now that I look back at it. But yeah, like with the scrunchie and the book, and it's kind of like adding the skincare products into a routine. This was made on the 31st of January, so I had this as my phone background for about 3 months until I got the internship. Looking at it every day, it like puts those ideas into your head, reminds you what you're working towards, and just like puts the energy out to the universe. And then I'll quickly talk about the crystal that I used. So the crystal that I used to manifest this was citrine. So I actually have 2, but you don't need to. I think I used this one because this one's newer. Like, I didn't have this by the time. But it looks like this. It's a citrine point. So there's obviously not one set crystal to use. Like, so many of them have properties that could benefit you for like manifesting a job. But I know that citrine is really good for manifesting prosperity, abundance, wealth. My best friend Karis uses this one to manifest money, so I think this is one that's like really linked with kind of like a career. And also I'm pretty sure it has properties to manifest creativity and like a flow of creativity, which is really important in like the job that I have. And how I use this is I place my finger onto the crystal. So I'll usually do like a guided meditation or a guided manifestation type thing, and during the meditation I will have the crystal like placed on the side, and I will keep my finger like held on top of the crystal. So imagine that's the surface, and I just place it like that and close my eyes. And what I do is imagine the energy from the crystal and the powers of the crystal flowing through the point of my finger all the way like into me, and then my energy the opposite way into the crystal, and that's my way of charging the crystal with what I want it to do. That is how I use it. There's so many different ways to do it. Oh, and also I keep my crystals in this bowl of pink Himalayan salt with a selenite tower in the middle, and selenite is supposed to kind of like charge them all and like amplify them. I know that some crystals can't actually go in salt, so I kind of need to check them because they're not supposed to all be in salt, but yeah, this is like my little crystal charging station. And yeah, that is the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to know more about my internship, I've just filmed a week in the life, so subscribe to stay tuned for that. And I'm actually going to be posting more on TikTok. Like, I think I'm going to do little like day on my life, just because I feel like sometimes people want something a bit shorter to watch, so I thought it'd be good for me to do like YouTube and TikTok. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in my next one.